Hey, what's up, everybody? How y'all doing? Dr. Ray here today. As I get started here, I'm just going to make sure that my sound and everything is working good. Hey, what's up, everybody? How y'all See, I'm just doing some tests here. We're going to get started in just a sec. Yeah, looks like we're all good. Everything's up and working. All right, so what we're talking about today are MLMs. Are they pyramid schemes? So a couple things before I start out. So I just watched the TV show LuLaRich. Me and my wife watched it. If you haven't watched it, I believe it's Amazon. I want to say it's on Amazon or Netflix, one of those streaming services. Anyway, it's about the LuLaRoe empire, kind of its rise, how it peaked, and everything about the show. I want to talk a little bit about that. I want to talk about, are these MLM companies such as, the makeup one, the cosmetics, the oils like the Terra oils and stuff, the people that sell, the Avon and what's the big makeup brand that I see everyone selling. Anyway, all of those types of companies, the MLMs. I want to talk a little bit about them. So let's start out with them, and then let's talk about the LuLaRich show and stuff. But basically what these companies are is they are a company that offers a product. A person they get someone to buy into the company. That person, oh yeah, the other one was Rodan and Fields. So the person then buys into that company. Buy some product, and then that person goes out and sells the product. In addition to selling that product, that person also tries to recruit other people to sell that product, and then they can make a portion off what that person buys or sells. So that's the basic structure of an MLM. The question always is, are these pyramid schemes? Are you a small business owner if you own one of these and stuff like that? And I want to kind of talk a little bit about that stuff. So let's talk about this LuLaRich show first, and then let's get into all the MLM type stuff. So LuLaRich show was about LuLaRoe, how they got started. A really actually interesting story. So the woman who started it was actually a woman and husband, but she was would make these dresses and clothes, go out and basically sell them. She would make them at home, go out and sell them. And she was hustling, really good side gig job, doing awesome. She actually seems really brilliant, and doing a great job hustling. And then one day she found this woman who was like, hey, can I sell some of these yourself? And she it all clicked for her. She said to the woman, sure, I'll sell these to you at a discount, and you can go out and sell them. And that's kind of how LuLaRoe was formed. And basically, as you go and watch the show, LuLaRoe formed into this huge multi-marketing level company where they had I don't know, I think it said 80,000 consultants working for them, which is just craziness. Probably doing I think it said in the billions of dollars a year at their peak, which is awesome. I mean, huge money. And then it started to talk about their downfall. And I had some issues with the way that they talked about the downfall and some of the negative things about these companies. And I want to talk a little bit about that. So let's kind of talk about all of it. Now that I summarized LuLaRich, I didn't summarize the end because I want to talk about that. So let's start out with, are these companies... what makes these companies pyramid? What are you getting into when you start one of these businesses? So are these companies pyramid schemes? So that's usually the first question people ask. And one of the common themes I see with every MLM company, every person, because I don't know, for some reason, it seems like a lot of the people I'm friends with on Facebook kind of stopped being in them. But it seemed like 5 years ago, maybe it was just my age demographic, every person was in one of them for some reason. And basically what each of them attempt to do is describe why their company's different and not a pyramid scheme. It seems to be the big thing that they try to do. We're different because of this, and we're not a pyramid scheme because of that thing. But the idea is, so if MLM is a fancy name for a pyramid scheme, because here's the issue that you run into with these companies. The issue that you run into with these companies is that your job is to actually recruit other people to literally compete with you. Just imagine being like the owner of a McDonald's restaurant and being like, hey, there's this building right next to me and I want you to also start a McDonald's. Like, that doesn't make any sense, does it? Like, you don't need two McDonald's right next to each other. That's actually like bad, right? But these MLM marketing schemes, that's the goal, is to get your person in your same household recruited. Usually friends and family recruited. So that they can go out and sell the product, and then you make money out of those sales. That's pyramid. You want them under you in that company so that they sell to, that's the pyramid. That's the pyramid scheme. So the difference between an MLM and a pyramid scheme is that an MLM also sells a product, but it's still a pyramid scheme. It just, they added a product to the pyramid scheme. And what you find is that most of these salespeople, most of the people in these companies don't actually make money from selling products. They make their money from the pyramid scheme part of it. So yes, they are pyramid schemes. The next question is, are you a business owner? So are you a business owner if you are part of one of these companies? So by definition, if you're part of one of these companies, regardless of what they call you, an independent sales consultant, a small business owner, a CEO, whatever they want to call you, when that company files their taxes, they label you as an independent contractor. That's what you are legally. You're an independent contractor. That's like, anyone who does any kind of consulting work, you're considered an independent contractor. So are you a business owner? Technically, you'd be labeled in the government as a sole proprietor, independent contractor. So that's what you are under like taxes and stuff like that. That's how the company labels you. You don't own part of their business. You don't really own a company either. You don't have employees working for you. You don't generally have some kind of business name. You're selling one product for another company, which dictates all the terms and how you sell that product. Like, you're not allowed to go sell it on Amazon and stuff like that. So are you a business owner? It's kind of a stretch to say you are a business owner. And to say you're a small business owner is even a bigger stretch, because the company you're working for is not a small business. They're a large company. So to say you're a Rodan and Fields consultant and you're a small business owner is highly incorrect. Rodan and Fields is a very large business, and you work for them. You're an independent contractor. That's like me being an independent contractor for Nike and being like, yeah, I'm a small business owner because I'm a consultant for Nike. Not really, doesn't really work that way. Okay, so that's that part of it. So are these pyramid schemes? Yes, they just added a product. Are you a small business owner? I kind of have answered that already. Now, let's talk about what I found wrong with the LuLaRich show and what I find is okay with these companies. So first of all, I think these companies are fine. I think pyramid schemes are fine. I mean, I personally would never, ever, ever invest in one. I would try to really I would never want to support my wife investing one. Like, I try to get her to, I would tell her not to do it. Like, I would never support like my friends. Not that I wouldn't support them, but like I wouldn't encourage them. I would try to discourage them. It's probably a better term from doing it. And so that's my personal belief system, that I don't think they're viable businesses. I think they peak and fall. I don't think they're a good long-term viable way to make money. However, I don't believe that it's the government's job to regulate these businesses. I think when someone wants to get involved in a pyramid scheme like an MLM type business, I think they know full well what they're getting into. And if they don't I think that maybe they need the lesson learned, because you shouldn't be paying money for something you aren't fully aware of. So like, to say that the person got scammed is a stretch. Like, they were getting involved in an MLM. Like, that's what it is. It's a pyramid scheme. Like, they knew that ahead of time. It's like, no, they didn't get it. That's like saying I got scammed by buying a stock and then it going down. Like, I mean, you're gambling. Anything that sounds like a get rich scheme too good to be true probably is too good to be true. So yeah, so there's that part of it. So I don't think that it's the government's job to get involved in these. Now, with the LuLaRich show, I did have some problems with that company in particular, and here were my problems. So I think that the company's business model was completely fine. Like, let these people feel good about themselves, form this community, and keep trying to, recruit other people. Like, that's fine if that's on the people signing up for it, if it's a bad investment or not. Where I have my problem is that the company was selling faulty products and knew about it and wasn't doing anything about it. Wasn't allowing, like, if you bought, like, I don't know, they were selling like these leggings, and if you bought like leggings and they were bad, the company wouldn't return them. Now that's an issue, that's a problem. And I do believe that it was right for the people to have a class action lawsuit against them for that kind of thing. If you have a faulty product, that's a problem. So I think that was one of the things that I believe that LuLaRich did incorrectly. They had this faulty product. The other thing that they were doing incorrectly is that, what was the other thing they were doing incorrectly? I'm trying to think back to the show now. I swear there were like two or three things that I was like pretty big on, that like, that's a no-no. Like, you can't do that. But anyway, yeah, one of the big things was the whole, just a faulty product. So there was no return policy. Like, you couldn't. Oh, so the other thing that they did incorrectly, and I'll go into this, is that they decided to create policies, like saying like, okay, now we'll allow everyone to return our product. People would join, and then they would change that policy, even though it clearly had, the people only signed up for that reason. So I think was the other big issue that I had. So those were clear problems. But as far as like what the problem that the show tried to bring out was that, oh, LuLaRich ruined these people's lives because this person invested $15,000 into the product and then couldn't sell it. And it's like, no, that's not the company's fault. That's the person's fault for investing $15,000 into a product they couldn't sell or didn't want to. The issue of the faulty product is something that does need to be taken care of by the company. So I thought that was one of the things that I didn't like about the end of the series, the way they portrayed the company as being like this monster, when it was like, no, the people all agreed to be in part of the monster. Like, that's what they wanted. They were hoping for a quick get-rich scheme. Like, that's what they wanted to do. They just were on the bad end of it. But like, that's the same with the stock market. Like, you see a stock going up, you get into it, and like, it just all of a sudden goes down. Like, you are rolling a dice, you are gambling with that kind of thing. So those are my thoughts about these companies overall. That's kind of like what I think about them, how I feel, what I think the government's role in them is. I think the government should allow them to happen. If people want to get involved, that's their choice to get involved. Now, a company can't have a faulty product. They need to return it and stuff like that. So there were some clear issues with what LuLaRich did, but it's all these companies. Rodan and Fields, there's the Young Essential Oils, Young something, doTERRA, the shakes, all like the workout shakes and stuff. I mean, there's tons and tons of these types of companies out there. There's the CBD oil ones. So, I mean, can you make money from them? Should you get involved? So the basic rule of thumb of these companies is that if the company's already big, you're not going to make money. If you were to get involved in a pyramid scheme early on in the company, like the first level or two, there's potential for you to make a ton of money from them. So you have to kind of know like where you are. But like, if it's just starting up, yeah, you could be like getting pretty good. But like, if there's like 10, Rodan and Fields consultants already, like where you live, and like you're going to be the 11th, like you're not making it. You're already at the bottom where you cannot profit from the most profitable part of the business. And there's 10 other people selling the same product as you, so why should someone buy it from you? Oh, you're going to go to your friends and family? Like, friends and family don't like to be like, because they just see pyramid scheme written all over it and they don't want to support that. They would support your home business if you had a real business, but you don't really. You're an independent consultant for a company. So anyway, those are my thoughts on pyramid schemes and MLMs. Let me know what you think about them. Let me know if you've ever had, oh, you know what? I shouldn't end with this. I should end with a story that I have, which is what I'm going to do right now. So, when I was just had graduated college, so I've been approached to be in these MLMs a bunch of times by different people. And usually I was living in Washington, D.C. I was actually a contractor for a big company. I didn't consider myself a small business owner, though. I considered myself a contractor. And I was approached by someone who lived about 3.5 hours away from me. They said, hey, I'm involved in this new business. It's really good. I said, that's awesome. They're like, do you want to hear about it and get in? I was like, that would be awesome. I would love to hear about it. I said, one stipulation, because they were going to drive to see me. They're like, no, I got to drive to you and show you this business. I can't tell you over the phone. I got to drive. I said, here's the stipulation. I go, if this is a pyramid scheme, I said, you are wasting your time because I will say no in 1 second. So he's like, no, it's not a pyramid scheme. This is a great business opportunity, blah, blah, blah. Drives to me 3.5 hours. Great to see my buddy. Hadn't seen him in a while and stuff. So it was good to catch up. Gets out this book, starts telling me that, you buy these products. It was like toothbrushes and toothpaste and soap and stuff. And they're like, yeah, you get it here instead of like Walmart. It's about the same price. They're like, and you sign up and you'll be under me. And I was like, this is a pyramid scheme. They were like, no, it's not. And I had to draw it out, like how it was a pyramid scheme, like draw it to show them. And unfortunately they drove 3.5 hours for a hard no. And me saying this is a pyramid scheme. I'm not, me just saying like, this is a pyramid scheme. I'm not getting involved. Another time I remember, so I was in college and all these, like a bunch of people that I was friends with all got these like little cards, like came in the mail for them. Like you've been selected to be part of this small business, to be a business owner where you can make millions. Come to this meeting like at such and such a time. And like you've been specially picked. So some of them were like pretty like arrogant about it. They were like, I've been picked and you weren't. Like I heard that kind of language. They all went to the thing, and it was like sign away, pay like $10,000 and sign away like you're saving like your job earnings for the next like 10 years. It was such a scam. Another time it happened, I was also living in DC, and we went to like this, it was like a real estate seminar, but like business opportunity, and we thought it was going to be like really good. We actually thought it was like a pitch for a company like to get like startup funds, and me and my buddy went there, and it was just a complete pyramid scheme. We were like, oh my goodness. It was like a pyramid scheme for timeshares. It was so bad. So anyway, just be aware of what you're getting into and stuff like that, and hopefully nothing bad happens. But anyway, those are my few stories. So let me know if you've ever been involved in one of these, how it worked out for you. What I'd really love to see is the people who are involved in these, their tax returns, to see like what they really made. At the end of the day, when you balance your books, like I was paid $2,000 by this company, but I spent $2,500, that kind of thing. So anyway.